Well, hey there, friends, and welcome to the Raising Amazing Tween Girls Show. It is so great to have you with me today. I think you are really going to enjoy today's episode as we invest in your tween girl. So whether you are just starting your day and are fresh with a lot of energy, or are starting to wind down and are chilling for the day, I am so proud of you for spending some time thinking about how to best parent your tween. Well, I'm Lisa Tony with Girl Tribe Nation, and I am all about supporting tween girls and the moms who are raising them. If you have a daughter between the ages of 8 and 12, then you are right in the middle of those tween years. As those tweens, they aren't quite teenagers yet, but they definitely are starting to transition out of being in that little kid stage. Those tween years, well, those are when the puberty train rolls into the station and everything starts to change. And when that happens, sometimes we are completely caught off guard. We know things are going to be different. We know that our kids are changing. And we know we need to help our kids through this transition. But it's challenging to know what to do when their attitudes start to change and their interests start to change and their friends start to change. And maybe most noticeably, their bodies. Holy moly, everything seems to change all at once. Now, I know it can be overwhelming. It can hit all of us differently. Almost all the moms I talk to are experiencing some feelings of surprise and a little disorientation knowing where to start with their daughters on this puberty journey. Well, today's episode will give you some ideas of ways that you can help to make this puberty journey very special. And it should be. I mean, puberty is a part of growing up, and it should be something that we celebrate. In many cultures, there are some incredible traditions around this season. Now, my last trip outside of the country, just before all of COVID hit, was to Israel. It was so fun to be walking around and then all of a sudden be in the midst of a bar mitzvah celebration. Now, when these families have a bar mitzvah celebration, it is a public affair. The families would walk up and down the streets all dressed up. They would be playing horns and all kinds of musical instruments, and they would be celebrating that their son or daughter was coming of age. Now, in their tradition, this is done around the age of 12 or 13. Now, let me tell you, it was a walking party to see this. It was so fun. It was family and friends that were surrounding the guest of honor, that 12 or 13-year-old, and they would walk with him or her. Now, it was a whole pronouncement to the world, and it was also a celebration within the family unit of this child coming of age. Now, as they would play their horns and sing and play music and they would dance, well, this is definitely a memory that these kids would absolutely remember as they transition into those teenage years. I mean, it's something they're going to remember their whole life. There's something so important and so special about marking these milestones in life with meaningful celebrations. It's honestly kind of a form of blessing their life, blessing this stage of their life. Now, I love how the idea of the bar mitzvah conveys this idea of walking with the tween. They are not just thrust into the world all on their own, but rather they are walking with support, with the help, with the love of their family and their friends. I saw so many of them hugging and smiling and patting each other and affirming each other. Of course, this was all pre-COVID, but the smiles and the joy, it was just contagious. I mean, honestly, I didn't even know them, and I wanted to jump in there and dance and sing too. I was so moved by this whole experience. What a powerful and helpful experience for this really challenging time in life. So what are some things that we can be doing to walk our daughter through puberty, to help our girl feel special and loved and supported? I mean, that is what this episode is all about. Now, one thing I want to be sure to give you is a special invite right up front to a free webinar that I've put together for all of you moms who are starting this puberty journey with your girls. Now, next Thursday, and then also the following Sunday, I'm going live in a webinar to talk about the 3 secrets that every mom needs to help her daughter thrive in puberty. Now, I would absolutely love to have you join me. So save your seat today. So you do need to register for the event. So I want you to head on over to girltribenation.com/webinar, and there you can pick a time slot. So you just sign up, and then it'll email you the link so that you can just jump on and join me. Now, I'm going to do this class on a Thursday and a Sunday, so you can pick which day and time will work best for you. Now, I would surely love to have you join me for this just 1 hour chat. It's going to be super fun and super helpful to you. Now, these 3 secrets are just what you need to help your daughter thrive in puberty. And when you cover all these basics, well, you are good to go. Okay, well, I will plan to see you there. In the meantime, today I want to talk to you about 5 ways that you can make puberty special. Now, the first one is something that Girl Tribe Nation, we really believe in, and that is the power of mother-daughter dates. And we believe in these so much that we really structure a lot of the podcast, Raising Amazing Tween Girls, with mother-daughter dates that you can do to do a follow-up conversation. And the class that I have developed on puberty, growing up girl, is full of these mother-daughter dates. We put together all the discussion questions for you, so all you need to do is download it onto your phone or print it out, figure out a fun spot to go, and you are good as gold to go ahead and enjoy that time with your girl with some really focused and intentional discussion on a particular topic. Now, I promise that when you spend some intentional time doing those mother-daughter dates, when those are a priority, that is going to make your daughter feel special. She is going to feel loved and treasured and invested in because you have made a time commitment. You have made it a priority to set aside some of your time and really focus in on her and to devote that to some of the topics that are important for her to understand as she continues to grow up. Now, helping her understand her body and all the changes that it is going through, but also how to navigate the world, well, this is something that is really incredibly helpful to her, but it also creates a bond of trust. You are investing in her, and so you are building this strong foundation. And so when she has a question or she's in a place of confusion or doesn't understand something, she's going to feel more likely able to come and talk to you, which is exactly what we want. So one of the ways that you can make puberty special is to plan for these mother-daughter dates. Now, we have some on our website. You can go to girltribenation.com/dates and find some of these. We've got a lot of them attached to different episodes within the podcast. And then if you decide that Growing Up Girl is a class that your daughter should sign up to take, I have built in a mother-daughter date with each of those classes so that you can have some really good discussion and just set aside time to show her all the things that are important as she makes those transitions. Okay, let's talk about another way to make puberty special for your girl. And the next one I want to talk about is the idea of a mother-daughter diary. Now, this is something that's really cool, not only because girls love diaries and this is fun, but this is really a special communication tool that you can utilize with your daughter. So you can either let her pick out a special diary, go shopping for one, or you can just surprise her with one. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. Even a notebook will work. And the way that you do it is you just start it off with a letter to her on the first page, telling her how much you love her and how important she is to you and the things that you treasure about her and your relationship, and how sometimes it's easier to write things out than it is to talk about them. And so you want her to know that she can come and talk to you anytime about anything, but if there's ever maybe just not an opportunity or she's feeling nervous about it, she can always write to you about it as well. And so that kind of sets the stage for how to use this diary. And then you can figure out a way to swap it back and forth. Now, the way that I love to do this with my girls is to put it on their pillow. And so when they go to bed, or go into their room, sometimes they'll find that on their bed. And so that gives them just a moment they can sit and read it. And often they go ahead and write something back to me, or they draw a picture and then they put it back on my bed. And I have to say, it's even pretty fun treat for me when it shows back up on my bed or on my pillow to see what they've written or they've drawn and just be able to write that back and forth. So don't get frustrated if it doesn't always go the way you want it. I started mine when my girls were in elementary school, and most of the time I would just pour my heart out to them, and then I'd just get like a little picture of a unicorn or something back. But girls love to draw as well. And so you just have to trust that you're building a process that is healthy to help her feel invested in. And every time she gets that diary entry, she is going to feel special. And it's also a way for you to continually pour encouragement into her life as she is going through these tween years and having all those body changes. It's a way you can share stories with her and maybe even highlight some of the things that you've seen her do that you have just really recognized as character building and something that is turning her into a young woman that you are so proud of. All right, on to number 3. This is our next way to help a girl feel special through puberty. And this way is to really plan to celebrate her period. Now, periods never go on schedule, right? And so eventually they'll get scheduled, but that first one comes as a surprise. And so you've got to have your mama plan in place. You've got to be ready for what you're going to do and when. Now, I had talked about this with my girl, and she still got it at a time when she was not with me, but she knew what to do. And, she actually went the whole car ride home from this event with her brothers and sisters in the car until we got home. And then she found me and just told me that she had started. And I was like, what? Oh my goodness, let's celebrate. And so we just dropped everything and I took her out for crepes because that's her favorite. And so we did that. And I wanted to do something just special. I mean, they're already feeling a little overwhelmed and not sure if they're doing it right, and they might not even physically be feeling well. They might have cramps and things. And so really having a plan in place, whether that is taking her out for a special treat or giving her a special gift or celebrating in a way that is appropriate for her. Now, my daughter is very introverted and private, so shouting it from the rooftops is not her style. So you've got to really work within the personality of your daughter to make this a special event and something that she'll remember. Okay, let's talk about idea number 4. And this is the idea of building a hope chest with your daughter as she goes through puberty. Now, I love this idea so much because it's a great way for you to be able to have intentional conversations about different areas of growing up. And each time you have one that is very significant, or maybe you pick some different age markers that are significant, whether that is when she first starts her period, or at age 12, or maybe at 13 when she becomes a teenager, or 15 or 18, and you can add little things to a hope chest. Now, hope chest was a tradition from way back when they started building a little treasured box filled with the things that they wanted to have for when they got married. And I absolutely love this idea because it really values the idea of marriage. Now, I'm a big believer in this idea, and I think it's something that we want to encourage our girls to look forward to. And so, you don't have to have a big cedar box as a hope chest. I found some really cute, just little small ones, even like at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or things like that. Or you can make one. And these are a great way to just have a box that either has a phrase or a verse or something on it that maybe is really central or key to helping your daughter understand her identity. And then different things that you can put in it, maybe something borrowed, maybe something blue, maybe something new if you want to go with that old tradition. Or you can build your own tradition around what you're going to put in that hope chest and what those things might be like. Maybe you want to pull out even a few things that she had when she was a baby or when you got married and share some of those stories and give those to her to keep in a special box as a special remembrance. The thing that you want to do with the hope chest, though, is make sure that you tie each gift with a moment of intentional teaching or discussion, so that those are symbols that are connected to an idea that you're instilling in her about the kind of woman that we are hoping that she grows into being. And this is a way to make that special and connect that thing every time she looks at that with the memory or the idea of what it is that you were talking about, of instilling in her some character traits of becoming a young woman. Okay, and the 5th idea that I want to share with you is the idea of taking a class. And I want to bring this up because we're just getting ready to open the cart for our Growing Up Girl class. It's going to be launching in just another week and a half. And so this is definitely a way to not only help your daughter understand puberty, but also to have a special time that she will have, a few weeks of going through some of these sessions and dialoguing with you, doing the mother-daughter dates and doing the activities. And she will remember this time that she did the Growing Up Girl class. And so whether you jump in on our class with Growing Up Girl through Girl Tribe Nation, which of course I hope you do, or you do a different class, that is a way that you can make things really special in terms of understanding what puberty means and some of the different body changes that she is going to be experiencing. So there you have it, friends. 5 ideas: mother-daughter dates, a mother-daughter diary, celebrating her period, starting a hope chest, and taking a class. So I hope one of those ideas or all of them will be helpful to you as you think about a great mama strategy for making puberty special for your daughter. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I am so honored to have you spend some of your day with me. Here's to raising amazing tween girls. I am cheering you on every step of the way. I believe that tween girls can be smart and healthy and brave and live with a whole lot more happy in their lives. We get to pour into them and we get to help them establish a solid, healthy identity so that as they become young women, they can thrive. Now, speaking of thriving, don't forget about the upcoming webinar that I'm hosting, 3 secrets that every mom needs to help her daughter thrive in puberty. I would love to hang out with you there. So save your seat at girltribenation.com/webinar. It's coming up next Thursday and then the following Sunday. Well, that's all I have for you today, friends. Be sure to subscribe to our show, leave some love with stars and a comment, and spread the word by posting this episode on your social media. I hope that you have an absolutely wonderful day, and I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Bye for now.